The latest reports that are coming in state that Egypt has now refused to coordinate with the Israeli forces on the entry of humanitarian aid into the Gaza Strip from Rafah crossing due to Israel's unacceptable escalation. At present, the United Nations and the aid agency are claiming that the shutdown of the two crossings into southern Gaza has cut the enclave off from all outside aid. The Israeli military claims that so far at least about 300,000 Palestinians have been removed and been sent to the Al-Mawasi refugee camp. On Saturday, journalists started evacuating a camp near a Kuwaiti hospital in Rafah after the Israelis called for more evacuations in the southern region of the Gaza Strip.
نغادر مدينة رفح رفقة الزملاء الإعلاميين بعدما وسع الاحتلال دائرة التهديد والتي تطال هذه المناطق التي نتواجد فيها. نحن سنغادر جغرافيا رفح لكن لن نغادر الميدان الإعلامي. سنبقى نحمل وصية زملائنا 150 زميل ارتقوا شهداء على مذبح الحرية. علينا أن نفضح الاحتلال في معركة الصورة، أن نوثق الجرائم. نحن مضطرون أن نغادر رفح لكن سنبقى في الميدان، سنكون أقرب ما يكون إلى دائرة الأحداث لنوثق ما يجري في هذه المدينة، ونتمنى أن يسلم الله رفح وأهل رفح وحجارة.
Meanwhile, Hamas's military wing has released a video that shows Nadav Popplewell, a British Israeli citizen who was taken hostage on the 7th of October, has actually been killed in an Israeli air bombing on Gaza. The Israeli strikes on Saturday hit several parts of the Gaza Strip, including Rafah, where Israel has expanded its ground invasion. The United Nations has warned of an epic disaster if an outright invasion of the crowded city takes place. The strikes were reported from the south to the north of the coastal territory, and over 21 people were killed during strikes in central Gaza, and they were taken to the Al-Aqsa Martyrs Hospital in Deir al-Balah city. The bodies covered in white lay on the ground in the courtyard of the facility. Now, on the other hand, Hamas has also fired a salvo of some very crude rockets into the southern city of Beersheba for the very first time since December, lightly injuring one woman. Now, Hamas's armed wing claims that the attack was targeted at a city in response to the massacres that are being committed on the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. However, according to Israel, at least 5 rockets were launched toward the city. In total, 1 was intercepted by the Israeli Iron Dome missile defense system, while other rockets fell in other open areas. Meanwhile, in Jerusalem, the United Nations Agency for Palestinian Refugees is now closing its Jerusalem compound after some Israeli nationals set fire to its perimeter not once but twice. Now, according to the Commissioner General of UNRWA, the staff had to put out the fires themselves because the firefighters and the police of Israel were simply too slow to respond to these arson attacks. However, no one was injured in this arson attack. On the other hand, in central Gaza's Nusayrat refugee camp, rescue workers and civilians searched frantically for the victims after an Israeli airstrike reduced a home to rubble and caused severe damage. In the southern part of the Gaza Strip in Rafah, amidst the ongoing Israeli assault on the city, the Palestinians fear a famine that would be worse than what has been witnessed in the north so far, after the Israeli army seized the Rafah crossing into Egypt from Hamas. The closure of the border has also now raised some new concerns about any humanitarian aid coming into the Gaza Strip, where the United Nations has now warned the risk of famine is extremely acute.
The situation in Rafah is on a knife's edge as airstrikes continue throughout southern Gaza. Over 1 million Palestinians, half of whom are children, have crowded in the Rafah governorate for shelter. We are actively engaged with all involved for the resumption of the entry of life-saving supplies, including desperately needed fuel, through Rafah and Kerem Shalom crossings.
On the diplomacy front, a Hamas official said that efforts to forge a hostage release and also a truce in the 7-month war have come back to square one after Israel effectively rejected a proposal by the international mediators. The United States, which is a long-time ally of the State of Israel, believes that remaining gaps can be surmounted as in-person talks on the Gaza ceasefire for hostages agreement have concluded for now with no deal. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.